Hello everybody, my name is Kurkutova B.A, an English teacher from Nazarbayev Intellectual School, Учитель. Welcome to our English lesson. Let's start. Look at one part of the picture and guess what kind of thing it is. Share your variants with me. You are right, it's a trolley bus. What do you like and don't you like about this mode of transport? Have you ever traveled on trolley bus? Please work with your partner and discuss these questions. You have 1 minute. All right. I think trolley bus is environmentally friendly, it's almost silent, and it's cheap. That is what I like about trolley bus. Let's move on. So today the topic of the lesson is, what are your ideas? Transport? Yes. And we use transport to travel. So the topic of our lesson is discussion on traveling in and around Kazakhstan. Learning objectives for today. 8.L6. Deduce meaning from context in extended talk on the topic. 8.R2. Understand specific information and detail in the text. 8.R7. Recognize typical features at word, sentence, and text level on the topic. 8.S8. Narrate some extended stories and events. So what skills are we going to practice today? That's it. Listening, reading, and speaking. Today we are going to speak about means of transportation and traveling, think critically, read about historical places of Kazakhstan, learn new vocabulary, listen to people talking about visits and travels, express your opinion about traveling. Could you please read the following puzzle and work with your partners to discover what the safest way of traveling is? I'm sure you know a lot of means of transport. Yeah? Okay, you have 2 minutes for this task. Traveling by train is more dangerous than cycling. Driving a car is more dangerous than traveling by train. Cycling is less dangerous than flying. Traveling by train is less dangerous than riding a motorbike. Riding a motorbike is more dangerous than flying. And the last one, flying is not as dangerous as driving a car. So, agree about the solution. What is the safest way of traveling? All right. It's not as easy as it seems, right? So, each pair, please decide about the safest way, and that is driving a car. In this puzzle, it is the safest way of traveling. All right. Now, continue working with your partner and imagine that you are in charge of delivering the post to a group of different villages. The picture shows the villages. You have to decide how to deliver the letters and parcels. First, talk to each other about the advantages and disadvantages of each method of transport. Then decide which is the best way of delivering the post. You have about 2 minutes. Have you got any questions? All right. So I see that you have a lot of ideas. Try to choose one particular way how to deliver the post to villages. This is the location of the villages. And at the bottom you can see the means of transport, like bicycle, helicopter, boat or speedboat, airplane and a car. The best way to deliver the parcels and the post. All right. So let's listen to each pair. Now, as we have listened to all the versions, the best way of delivering the post is a speedboat. Yes, you are right. Well done. So think about the following. What part of Kazakhstan do you live in? What is the best way to get to other regions of our country from your place? What places around Kazakhstan have you visited? Change your partners and discuss these questions. You have 2 minutes. If you have never traveled to other regions from your place, think about examples from your experience. Your friends or your relatives have traveled, or your classmates have traveled to other regions, and remember what transport they have used. All right. As for the last one, what places around Kazakhstan have you visited? If you haven't visited so much around Kazakhstan, think about places that you would like to visit. Which places you find interesting for visiting. All right, great. Let's move on. Now please look through the text about the most famous ancient sites of Kazakhstan and answer my question. Which sites have many visitors? Here it is. This is your text. All right. So please answer. Yes. Sites that have many visitors are Otrar, petroglyphs in Kulzhabasy Mountains, and ancient monuments of Western Kazakhstan. Now let's go to the reading tasks. Read the text, and for questions from 1 to 10, choose from the sites from paragraph A to paragraph D. The sites may be chosen more than once. This week we profile 4 interesting sites from the ancient world. the ancient settlement of South Kazakhstan. Otrar is situated off the main roads of the modern world. In its peaceful days, it was ideally located in an oasis at the foot of a chain of hills, close to the point where the Aris flows into the Sirdarya. To get there, follow the road from Shymkent to Turkestan. It became famous as the birthplace of Abu Nasr al-Farabi, an outstanding encyclopedic scientist. Otrar was a large political, economical, and cultural center of the historic region of Turkestan, and an important branch of the Silk Road. It was the only city on the territory of Kazakhstan that minted gold coins besides of silver and copper ones. Otrar was finally left at the end of the 17th, beginning of the 18th centuries, after being conquered and destroyed by the Jungarians, following a heroic defense. In the second half of the 18th century, the city already laid in ruins, melted under rains, and transformed into a hill called Otrar Tobiye, which means the hill of Otrar. Today, at the city's excavation site, numerous walls remain, though in poor condition, showing the layout of large parts of the city. They clearly demonstrate that Otrar was built according to a well-planned construction scheme, based both on social order and hygienic principles. It must be noted that this important site, though protected by the state, is still terribly at risk, not only because of the goats that roam freely around the site and cause its continuing degradation, but tourists, mostly accidentally, do their bit to increase the ruination as well. Since 2001, UNESCO, together with a Japanese-funded group, has been engaged in improving the situation. Akurtas. The town of Akurtas is thought to have been the summer residence of the Karluk Khagans, governors, during its apogee from the 8th till the 10th century AD. In the middle of its monumental structure there was a palace. According to another theory, however, it could also have been an Nestorian monastery, as indicated by the find of a stone block bearing the image of a fish, symbol of Christianity. Whatever the case, excavations have discovered a most ingenious water distribution system in this area. Today, visitors find themselves standing in front of a partly grass overgrown wall, with stone tubs scattered around under the free sky. It is a true miracle that nothing of this has yet been carried off. The best explanation for it is that the city, situated 50 kilometers from Taraz, is so hard to reach. In the West Stone Mountains, the building material was mined, which was used in the construction of the most mysterious structure on the Silk Road, Akurtas. Its ruined traces can be seen now near the Akchulak railway station, 40 kilometers east of Jambu. Akurtas surprises with a grandiose engineering project. The fact that there were special mechanisms for transporting heavy weights is characteristic of a high level of engineering knowledge of unknown builders of Akurtas. The next is petroglyphs in Kulzhabasi Mountains. Petroglyphs in Kulzhabasi Mountains are situated on the tops and slopes of a stone hill. The ancient pictures on rocks situated in 120-130 kilometers from the sanctuary Tamgala, the most famous concentration of petroglyphs in Central Asia, in 200 kilometers the west from Almaty. The remains of irrigational systems are in the region of railway stations Kurdai, Anrahai, and also in the canyon Oijailau, and in the west end of Chuili Mountains. What shows the population here were dealing in agriculture. In ancient times, all these canyons were inhabited tightly enough by the population of early Iron Age, ancient Turks and Kazakhs. These tribes and peoples left the numerous pictures on rocks which attracted the attention of local students and archaeologists. The total number of paintings in the main canyon is approximately 2,000. All of them are divided into 7 groups. Here one can see the images of sun-headed idols, disguised warriors, married couples, women in childbirth. There are also compositions with many figures portraying images of people and animals in scenes of hunting and bull sacrifice. There are many solar symbols. The investigators paid attention on the stylistic likeness of many petroglyphs of West Semirichia. In 2001, the archaeologist amateurs Sala and Deom found the new accumulation of petroglyphs during their trips. And the last one, ancient monuments of history of Western Kazakhstan. The sandstone and chalk formations of the Mangashlag Peninsula hide many caves that used to be exploited as shelters, hideouts, and places for cult. The oldest underground mosque is located at Shapak Ata in the north of Mangashlag. It was cut out in the rocks at some point between the 10th and the 15th centuries. The land is hard to overview and difficult to cross. A jeep, horse, or camel is the best means to get there. The mosque has 3 entrances. The main one is situated on an outstanding rock formation. A secret entrance is located in a slight valley, while a third one can be found on the plateau. The mosque is called Shakpak Ata, since Shakpak, an Islamic missionary and grandson of the saint Chopin Ata, reputedly used to live here. There is a necropolis not far from the mosque. Not far from Shakpak Ata, there is the underground mosque of Sultan, patron saint of fishermen and sailors, hidden in the canyon that bears the same name. To visit these places, the help of a travel agency is highly recommended. There are no maps that indicate the location of underground mosques. The most famous underground mosque on the Mangashlag Peninsula is that of Biket Ata, a saint many legends refer to. Biket was born on Mangashlag back in 1750. Here he gathered students and taught them the Arabic script and doctrines of faith. He is said to have built 4 mosques in the areas to the east of the Caspian, in Binyel, Emba, on the Ustюрт Peninsula near the Aral Sea, and here in Oglanda. Biket Ata gained high-level mastery in clairvoyance, healing, physics, mathematics, and astronomy. These skills, combined with an immense physical strength, earned him high respect among the simple people. The mosque has been redecorated on the occasion of Biket Ata's 250th birthday. According to legend, Chopin was a pupil of Hoja Ahmed Yassawi. The touristic agency in Aktau offers this trip, and participating in it, one can avoid problems with orientation. Okay? So, as I see, you have finished your task. Please put down your answers near the questions. Which site was once a very important urban area? Which site cannot be reached by public transport? Which site was an example of well-planned construction? Which site was used by people to build their homes? Which site had produced its own money? Which site contains images of animals? Which site was redecorated? Which site is best to visit using particular means of transport? Which site doesn't have many visitors? Okay? Remember that the sites may be chosen more than once. Okay, and here are the correct answers. Please compare your answers with these ones. All right. Let's move on. So read the text again and match the phrases in bold in the text to their definitions from 1 to 10 below. The first one, a place giving protection from bad weather or danger. The second, extremely large. The third one, historical or archaeological relics. The fourth one is subdivision of the main part of the road. What is the phrase for according to general belief? What is the word for excellent? Find the word in the text meaning taking part in. Look for another word of ruined. The ninth is the phrase, the way in which the parts of something are set. And find the word for clever, original, and inventive. You have 3 minutes. All right. Please be very attentive, as it is a rather long piece of reading. Pay attention to the words and the phrases in bold. You can underline the words as well, and it will help you to find the phrases very quickly. All right? Some of the words are adjectives, some of the words are nouns. So, match the words and the phrases. Okay. As I see, you have almost finished. Take some more time. Match all 10 definitions. Okay? Good. You are ready. So, look at the correct answers. The first one, shelter. Second one, immense. Number 3, remains. Number 4, branch. Number 5, reputedly. Number 6, outstanding. Number 7, dealing in. The 8th one, carried off. The last but one, lay out. And the last, ingenious. Great. So we have practiced speaking and reading skills, and get ready to listen. I have the question. What is the best way to look around the city? You have 4 options. Please number these options in order for you, individually, on your own, with a friend, with a group of friends, on a guided tour. You have 1 minute to think and to put them in order. Maybe some of you prefer doing it on your own. Or there are a lot of people who like to look around the city with a group of friends. As for me, I prefer a guided tour. Okay? Great, you have done it. Now, think about the question. Where was the last place you visited on a sightseeing trip? Did you enjoy it? And share your opinion with your group. Alright? Try to remember. Where was the last place you visited on a sightseeing trip? What kind of sights have you seen? Maybe it was in your town. Maybe it was out of your town. Maybe you have gone to the village. So what did you feel? Did you enjoy it? Good. Now look at this card. The task is put each verb in the correct place. Go on, work out, travel, do, have. And you have 5 phrases. You have 1 minute to put each verb in the correct place. Read carefully. You can also say it aloud. Okay? Now compare your answers with your neighbor. Do you have the same? Do you have different answers? Why does your partner think in another way? And here are the right answers. Do some sightseeing. Do everything on your list. Have a look around. Have a rest. Work out where you are or work out what to do. Go on a guided tour or go on an excursion. Travel around by bus or travel independently. These are the phrases. Alright? Also, I'm thinking what kind of problems people may have while traveling around the world. Can you please brainstorm your ideas and share it with your small group? Yes, as I can hear, some people lose their money or lose their documents. Okay. Some people spend a lot of money. That's also, especially on shopping, right? What else? Sometimes the problem is about the telephone calls. That's right. In their country, they use one type of telephone connection. In another country, there can be a different one. So you have to adjust, right? Good. So now you will hear 8 people talking about travel and visits. For questions from 1 to 8, choose the best answer: A, B, or C. There is only one answer. Now, are you ready? Let's listen.
Listening 6.1. 1.
So, my plan is that I'll arrive in New York City and then travel by car through Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, right the way down the East Coast to Florida. It's a journey that I've always wanted to do.
That's terrific, Dennis. It sounds really exciting. Can I help you at all?
Actually, yes. I was wondering if you could put me up for a couple of nights.
Of course. That's no trouble at all.
2.
Well, of course, in the brochure, it looked perfect. The hotel was right next to the beach, there was a swimming pool, and the rooms looked beautiful. But when we arrived, things were a little bit different. Don't get me wrong, it was a very high-quality hotel, and it was nice to be there, but it was nowhere near the beach. Why do they put these things in the brochure if they're not true? It's all quite frustrating.
3.
Our Interrail trip around Europe was great fun. The transport ticket was a bit expensive, but that was no problem really. We saw loads of cities and had a great time. There was only one really bad moment. We had to get a train in the morning from Frankfurt to Hamburg, and the only train we could get was at 7 a.m. We got there okay, but it was full of commuters and it was packed. We had to stand almost the whole way, and it's a long journey. That was the worst thing.
4.
That was a marvellous trip to Crete. I knew I had to find something to take back with me. In the end, I decided to get a print of one of the pictures at the Palace of Knossos. The image is about 3,000 years old. It shows a man leaping over a bull. It's really nice, and I've hung it in my living room. Every time I look at it, it reminds me of the fabulous 2 weeks we spent there.
5.
Come on. You must have the ticket somewhere.
Yes, they're in my bag. Here.
Look at the queue for check-in. I told you we should have got here earlier.
It's okay, we're here now.
How long is it before we take off?
An hour and a half. Don't worry, everything is on track.
I just hope I have time to do some shopping. Oh, well.
6.
What about this one? It's a package holiday on a coach that travels through the Alps.
But look, they take you somewhere every day. Castles, museums. I want some time to do other things too. A bit of skiing, perhaps. Let's just book our own flights and hotels over the internet.
I think the package holiday will be cheaper.
I'd rather make all the decisions and spend more.
7.
The thing that I really wanted to do on the trip was to go diving. The weather had been bad for days and the boats weren't going anywhere. Eventually, though, it cleared up and the sea was calm. I'd already paid up and I was all set to go. Unfortunately, I'd cut my foot a week before and it hadn't healed, so I wasn't able to go on the excursion. It was so frustrating.
8.
I don't think it's a job for everyone. I take large groups and show them around the historic centre of the city. I do this about 3 or 4 times a day. Some people might think that it's quite boring doing the same thing all the time, but I really enjoy it, and you get to meet different people all the time. I also get to use my foreign languages, and that's important to me too.
Okay, I have no doubts that you have chosen the best answer for questions from 1 to 8. The questions are as follows. The first, you hear a man and woman speaking. What does the woman agree to do? A. Drive the man in your car. B. Let the man stay in your house. C. Go with the man on his journey. Second question. You hear a woman talking about her holiday. Why does she complain? A. She received incorrect information about her hotel. B. She didn't like her hotel. C. She didn't like the beach. Question number 3. You hear a boy talking about his holidays. What was the problem on the train? A. It was too early. B. It cost too much. C. It was full of people. Number 4. You hear a man talking about his holiday. What did he buy? A. A guidebook. B. A souvenir. C. A photograph. 2 more questions. Number 5. You hear a man and woman talking. Where are they? A. A car park. B. An airport. C. A train station. Number 6. You hear a man and woman talking. What does the woman want to do? A. She wants to go sightseeing every day. B. She wants to save as much money as possible. And C. She wants to arrange the trip herself. And last 2 questions. Number 7. You hear a man talking about an excursion. Why was he unable to go? A. He had a medical problem. B. The weather was horrible. C. He was not able to pay for it. And the last question. You hear a woman talking. What is she describing? A. Being a tourist. B. Being a taxi driver. C. Being a tour guide. Okay?
Listening 6.1. 1.
So, my plan is that I'll arrive in New York City and then travel by car through Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, right the way down the East Coast to Florida. It's a journey that I've always wanted to do.
That's terrific, Dennis. It sounds really exciting. Can I help you at all?
Actually, yes. I was wondering if you could put me up for a couple of nights.
Of course. That's no trouble at all.
2.
Well, of course, in the brochure, it looked perfect. The hotel was right next to the beach, there was a swimming pool, and the rooms looked beautiful. But when we arrived, things were a little bit different. Don't get me wrong, it was a very high-quality hotel, and it was nice to be there, but it was nowhere near the beach. Why do they put these things in the brochure if they're not true? It's all quite frustrating.
3.
Our Interrail trip around Europe was great fun. The transport ticket was a bit expensive, but that was no problem really. We saw loads of cities and had a great time. There was only one really bad moment. We had to get a train in the morning from Frankfurt to Hamburg, and the only train we could get was at 7 a.m. We got there okay, but it was full of commuters and it was packed. We had to stand almost the whole way, and it's a long journey. That was the worst thing.
4.
That was a marvellous trip to Crete. I knew I had to find something to take back with me. In the end, I decided to get a print of one of the pictures at the Palace of Knossos. The image is about 3,000 years old. It shows a man leaping over a bull. It's really nice, and I've hung it in my living room. Every time I look at it, it reminds me of the fabulous 2 weeks we spent there.
5.
Come on, you must have the ticket somewhere.
Yes, they're in my bag. Here.
Look at the queue for check-in. I told you we should have got here earlier.
It's okay, we're here now.
How long is it before we take off?
An hour and a half. Don't worry, everything is on track.
I just hope I have time to do some shopping. Oh, well.
6.
What about this one? It's a package holiday on a coach that travels through the Alps.
But look, they take you somewhere every day. Castles, museums. I want some time to do other things too. A bit of skiing, perhaps. Let's just book our own flights and hotels over the internet.
I think the package holiday will be cheaper.
I'd rather make all the decisions and spend more.
7.
The thing that I really wanted to do on the trip was to go diving. The weather had been bad for days and the boats weren't going anywhere. Eventually, though, it cleared up and the sea was calm. I'd already paid up and I was all set to go. Unfortunately, I'd cut my foot a week before and it hadn't healed, so I wasn't able to go on the excursion. It was so frustrating.
8.
I don't think it's a job for everyone. I take large groups and show them around the historic centre of the city. I do this about 3 or 4 times a day. Some people might think that it's quite boring doing the same thing all the time, but I really enjoy it, and you get to meet different people all the time. I also get to use my foreign languages, and that's important to me too.
So I see you have finished the task, and here are the answers. Check your answers with the correct ones. Okay? So you have all the answers correct. Well done. Now it's time to meet your 1 o'clock buddy. Okay? Wind your clock to 3. Wind your clock to 1. So 1 o'clock is your partner. 1 o'clock buddy is your partner for the next activity. Discuss the following questions with the partner. Do you like going on cultural holidays, visiting art galleries and museums? Why or why not? You have 2 minutes to discuss. What kind of cultural holidays they can be? The national holidays, when people don't go to school, when people don't go to work. Also, cultural holidays can be the festivals, different music festivals, art festivals. I'm sure that each of you has visited an art gallery and a museum at least once in their life. And now share your experience. What did you like about it? And do you like going there in January? If you don't like, also explain why. Or why not. Alright? The next question, do you prefer staying in hotels or camping in campsites? Okay, you have 2 minutes to discuss it. Especially when you go outside your town, you go to other regions of your country or you go abroad, where you prefer staying in. Hotels, or you prefer to be closer to environment and you are not afraid of staying in closer to the nature, for example, in the forest. Great. And the last one. Describe the best and worst holidays you have ever had. Start with the best one. Remember the best holiday you have ever had. Where was it? Who was with you? What did you do there? Okay, and try to remember about the worst holiday. Have you had such experience in your life? Share all your ideas with a partner. Great. Oh, there is one more. Would you like to be a tour guide? Why? Oh, why not? What do you think are the good and bad points of the job? Being a tour guide. I'm sure that you have heard a lot and you have watched over TV, in films and different TV programs about such profession as tour guide. So what can be the advantages and disadvantages of this job? You can make some notes as well. Alright? So, if you could go on holiday to any of 4 ancient sites mentioned in the article, where would you go? To Akartas or Kujabase or other regions, or maybe to Mangashlak, and explain why. Great. Here were the places. Okay, good. Now put the stickers to the name of the site you would like to visit. A, B, C, and D. 4 sites. So your home task is make a group representation about a traveler who has contributed to the studies about Kazakhstan's geography. Include the following: a short biography of the traveler, his or her contribution to the studies about Kazakhstan. Use visuals, photos or videos, and your time limit will be 4 minutes. If you want to get an extra information, you can use the following references. And you can find this lesson in this website. Thank you very much. Thank you for attention. I wish you good luck. Goodbye.